Thank you for joining us at Webinars by Rockwell. We're delighted you've decided to spend your time with us today. Every day of our lives, in one way or another, we experience the opportunity to lead or to follow. In order for each of us to be successful in our professional and personal lives, it is essential that we are able to recognize the qualities of a good leader, to be an active contributing member to the team, and to know when to lead and when to follow. The webinar was designed to address both work situations as well as professional association memberships. Many of the points are related to IAAP membership with the old corporate structure. The concepts are sound for either an association or a small business and involve succession planning. Succession planning for an association or small business is a process to help define who our future leaders are and how to help them reach their fullest potential through leadership training, succession planning, and mentoring, which will help us establish a solid leadership foundation for the future. This presentation was first given in 2009 and written in part by Judith Iannarelli, the late Jenny Barkett, and Bianca Constance. Judy at that time was international president of IAAP. Jenny and Bianca served on the board of directors for the New York State division at that time. I do want to share a funny story before we get into the meat of the presentation. The four of us on the board were presenting this presentation to a group of division members in Syracuse on a very snowy Saturday morning in February. It had started snowing the night before. We all gathered at a hotel in Carrier Circle and had dinner reservations at a nearby restaurant. Not expecting the weather, Judy, who was our highest ranking member in the association, was about 5 feet tall and a bulldog of a person. We drove around looking for the restaurant in the snowstorm, but only found zombie houses. Bianca was driving, and she blew through a stop sign on the campus of the BOCES. There was no one around because of the storm. And we laughed and laughed and laughed. We turned around and finally did find the restaurant. However, Judy had had surgery on her foot a couple of weeks before the event and could only wear ballet slippers. And they were beautiful black suede with a cute little decoration. They were adorable, which were not appropriate foot attire for 7 inches of fresh snow in Syracuse. Oh, and she told her husband that she was going to Albany during all of the planning stages of this event. We finally found the restaurant, but couldn't find the front door. The snow was whipping around in almost blizzard conditions, and I only had on a very heavy sweater. I got out of the car to walk around the building to find the front door, only to find that we were basically parked almost in front of it. But the entrance had not been shoveled, so it didn't look like an entrance. After I walked all the way around the building, we realized where we were. I went to go in and then realized that Judy would not be able to walk through the drifting and accumulating snow to get inside. There was a person at the door. I don't know if he was a doorman or a waiter, but he didn't seem all that interested in shoveling. So 2 of us from the car got out and shoveled so Judy could enter the restaurant. At the annual meeting that spring, we gave Bianca her parting gift as president of a miniature car, pine trees, and a little stop sign. Of course, she understood the joke. We talked all weekend about appropriate footwear. So, Without delay, let's get started learning about leadership. How does one become a leader? Only 10% are born leaders, 10% are situational, and 80% have learned leadership qualities. So what exactly is leadership? Leadership is motivating or inspiring others to perform activities designed to achieve specific goals. A real leader doesn't force people to follow, they invite them on a journey, said Charles S. Lauer. The differences between leaders and managers. Managers have employees or committee members react to changes. They do have good ideas, and they communicate what is to be done. Conversely, leaders have followers, and they create change. They don't just have good ideas, they implement their ideas, and they persuade others to join, share ideas, and make it happen. Managers direct groups to complete tasks to meet the goal. Try to be heroes to their company or organization. Take the credit. Don't always recognize others. Exercise power over others to complete the project. Where leaders create teams focused on achieving the goal. Make heroes of others on the team. Take responsibility and recognize the team members. Share power with team members to reach their goal. So where can we lead? Leaders can be found at work, in our communities, within IAAP or other organizations, charities, churches, in our private lives. When do we use leadership skills? When we take control of our lives and our career, step forward to improve the lives of others, inspire or influence others by our actions, set goals and work to achieve them, serve as an officer or chair a committee. When do people become leaders? People become leaders when they have a passion for a cause or goal that has to be completed and act on it. Examples of great leaders with passion are John F. Kennedy and Susan B. Anthony, just to name a couple. What characteristics do leaders possess? They're positive thinkers. They believe they can control their lives and their careers. They lead by working, not controlling others. They collaborate, form teams, persuade or invite others to join them. So what about you? Are you a leader? Do you want to control your life and career, make your organization better, or improve life for others? Improve service to your customers? Help others to grow? Solve problems? So now that you're a leader, what does your title do for you? Titles can grant you authority, open doors, give you status, but it's not a job description. Keys to successful leadership are lifelong learning, staying focused, building a team, communication, setting goals, and recognizing others. Leaders take time to reflect and set goals. Watch and learn from other leaders. They mentor others. They do have fun along the way, follow through on their promises, and stay focused. Real leadership is power with people, not over people. Leaders need to motivate people. They encourage participation. They make sure everyone understands the goal. Ask for opinions and ideas. Brainstorm for missed opportunities. They share the spotlight and recognize others' accomplishments. They ask for feedback. And they communicate, communicate, and communicate. Communicate is the big buzzword. Energize and inspire others to take action. Work to influence, not impress. Strive for understanding. Tell stories to get your point across. Strive for clear message. Work to complete the job, not to build your own reputation. Traits of successful leaders: they have a clear vision, they implement their ideas, they're willing to work, and they celebrate their accomplishments along the way. Successful leaders know leadership is about serving others, and they combine performance with giving, effectiveness with service, results with contribution. None of us know what really lies within us and how far we can actually go as leaders. John Gardner, former Secretary of Health, Education, and Welfare, said, "You have within you more resources and energy than you have ever tapped, more talent than has been explored, more strength than has been tested, and more to give than you've ever given." Noted author James C. Maxwell wrote a book titled The 21 Indispensable Qualities of a Leader: Becoming the Person Others Will Want to Follow. This is a terrific book because the chapters are short and easy to read, and it included short stories that highlight each characteristic and things individuals can do to cultivate those qualities. Here are just a few of those qualities. They are positive, they are role models, sensitive and caring. They mentor. They simplify bureaucracy, and they accept challenges for the future. I strongly encourage you to read this book. I think it's a valuable look at leaders and non-leaders in terms of how to live your life. An effective leader is alive with spirit and enthusiasm, has passion for the cause, makes meetings useful, timely, and educational, asks employees what they want, need, and expect, meets needs of the employees, and sets an example that others may choose to follow. By displaying all of these qualities, you are setting an example and being a role model for those who will be future leaders, an important part of succession planning. Leaders are visionaries. and you need to adapt your leadership skills to the path of the future. Being president of an association at any level cannot just be about that individual. It has to be about the whole team. The same can be said for your business. At every level of the association, there may be challenges because some presidents have been better at others in helping those following them to understand the job and mentor them to take roles and responsibilities. Recognize need for effective succession planning through encouragement, education, and sharing of knowledge. Keeping your fellow leaders in the dark is not a recipe for success. For succession planning, because we're not training future leaders if they don't have a sense of what happens. At every level, opportunities need to be given to individuals. So you have people who will want to serve at the next level because you've given them tools and shown them that it can be done by anyone as long as they've been given the opportunity to learn and grow. If you're not providing training to your employees or those in an association, you don't have the chance to see how each position operates, and you are setting them up for failure. Leadership should be a continuous process for every organization that commits to a succession plan. Leadership continuity is a process that requires 6 major steps. To ensure that your commitment to leadership quality, follow this circle of leadership process. Assess the present, assess the future, establish your plan, identify and develop talent, and evaluate and reward. Succession planning includes strategic goal setting, laying a solid foundation, and keeping your eyes on the horizon. Be forward thinking. So where are we going? Do we know the vision and mission of the business or the association? What are the goals we wish to attain? What plans, both strategic and tactical, will allow us to reach those goals? And who will take us there? It may be current employees, but it may also be new employees that keep your organization viable and thriving. Laying a solid foundation. Communicate process, requirements, benefits, focus, and simplify. To do this, we must lay a solid foundation for both current and future members. Succession planning ensures that a member or an employee has been developed and is ready to step into a leadership role as the opportunity arises. An important component in this is communication. We need to communicate the process by which decisions are made, the requirements needed to make these decisions, and the benefits from the decision-making process. We have to maintain focus on the end goal and simplify the process by making decisions to move your business or association forward with leaders who are prepared. What is succession planning? Having the right people in the right place at the right time. An ongoing process of identifying and developing future leaders. An opportunity to create standards for qualifications and competencies for future leaders. Providing understanding to employees or members of the potential leadership paths available and development needs. Succession planning is not one event, but rather an ongoing process. Individuals involved in the process need to understand the purpose and need for succession planning, keeping the organization viable into the future. the time frame and commitment involved, the resources available, talk to support, current leaders, past leaders, and non-leaders. The mission, vision, strategic plan, and basic processes specific to the organization. How the succession plan will provide the strategic plan of the organization. Succession planning becomes the responsibility of the leader, manager, president, vice president. But succession planning really needs to begin the moment a new employee or a new member walks through the door. You are identifying your resources, your employees, members, by identifying their individual strengths and abilities when they first begin their journey in your organization to help in the succession planning process. After they've had a few successes, also look for opportunities to help them get better at those areas where they might not be very strong. Set up one-on-one meetings and discuss these topics at evaluation time. You also need to do a needs assessment that assesses their feelings, their goals and ambitions, remedy any past problems, and plot a future course for success. Because the goal is to make them better at their jobs. For example, if they aren't a good public speaker, you might ask them to give an update during a staff meeting, a short report that allows them the opportunity to try out a new skill in a safe environment. As you continue to build their skills, you build their confidence and can ask them to take on a more complex task or role. And if you ask them to take on new responsibilities, you need to be there to support them and mentor them. You can't ask people to do more and then go away. To keep a positive cycle going, you need to make sure they are comfortable with what they're doing by hanging around in the background, not micromanaging, to make sure they get proper coaching. This goes hand in hand with the mentoring we're about to discuss. You need to take the time to talk to employees and help them understand the ins and outs of the organization at all levels. Every organization has its own culture, which remains constant and yet changes with attrition and position changes. Developing future leaders. Leaders create a comfortable environment for members and employees. They delegate and relinquish power to other members. Relinquishing will multiply members' strengths. Delegating builds confidence and encourages members to take risks. In addition to encouraging employees to take leadership training, management, and other seminars, experience-based learning is a valuable tool as well. Asking them to take on small leadership opportunities and build from there will allow their confidence to grow. By doing this, you are creating a comfortable environment in which employees can test themselves and develop. Provide development opportunities. Delegate and relinquish power to your employees. It increases their strengths and, as I said before, builds confidence and encourages members and employees to take new risks. Pitfalls to avoid. Lack of leadership support. If the management doesn't support the program, it will most likely fail, no matter how well thought out. Lack of communication with individuals you are grooming. Just because you think someone is a possible future leader, he or she doesn't always know it or want it. You can't assume that everyone in the organization wants to move up. Some employees have seen the level of responsibilities their leaders have and deal with on a daily basis and are content to stay where they are. Communication with potential leaders should include regular reviews to ensure they are still interested in moving to the next level. A lack of understanding. Many times the employee of an organization perceives succession planning as creating a ceiling over them, not allowing them to move upward unless they are one of the chosen few. However, a focus on an individual development plan or an IDP, which I'll talk about in a few minutes, can help this understanding. Reinforce succession planning as a development opportunity for the individual instead of a ceiling. Assuming that success is one's position will guarantee success at a higher position may not always be correct. The competencies required for success at each level are different. A person who is an excellent salesman may not be ready to be a manager yet. So let's talk about mentoring. Mentoring, what is it? It's structured and it's a trusting relationship. What do mentors do? They provide individuals with support, counsel, friendship, reinforcement, constructive example. They are good listeners who want to help individuals develop their skills. Mentoring is a structured and trusting relationship that brings those people who want to improve themselves together with caring individuals who offer guidance, support, and encouragement aimed at developing the competence of the mentee. Mentoring is a tool that organizations can use to nurture and grow their people. It can be an informal practice or a formal, structured program. A mentor is someone who provides an individual with support, counsel, friendship, reinforcement, and constructive examples. Mentors are good listeners and want to help others bring out strengths that are already there. A mentor is not a career coach, parent, therapist, parole officer, or even a cool peer. A mentor's main purpose is to help an individual define goals and find ways to achieve them. Since every individual is different, the mentor's job is to encourage and develop a flexible relationship that responds to both the mentor and mentee's needs. The following assumptions form the foundation for a solid mentoring program. Deliberate learning is a cornerstone. The mentor's job is to promote intentional learning, which includes building a person's capabilities through methods such as instructing, coaching, providing experiences, modeling, and advising. Both failure and success are powerful teachers. Mentors and leaders of a learning experience certainly need to share their how to do it so it comes out right stories. They also need to share their experiences of failure, such as how I got it wrong. Both types of stories are powerful lessons that provide valuable opportunities for analyzing individual and organizational realities. Leaders need to tell their stories, personal scenarios, anecdotes, and case examples because they offer valuable, often unforgettable insight. Mentors who can talk about themselves and their experiences establish a rapport that makes them learning leaders. Development matures over time. Mentoring, when it works, taps into continuous learning that is not an event or even a string of discrete events. Rather, it is the synthesis of ongoing events, experiences, observations, studies, and thoughtful analysis. Mentoring is a joint venture. Successful mentoring means sharing responsibility for learning, regardless of the facilities, the subject matter, the timing, and all of the other variables. Successful mentoring begins with setting a contract for learning around which the mentor and the mentee are aligned. Mentoring needs to begin the moment an employee walks through the door. You need to assign someone to each new hire to help acclimate them to all levels of the organization. Mentoring is an important responsibility for all members. We need to pay it forward, so to speak. Also make it clear that a new hire can talk to anyone and ask questions they may have, not just limit themselves to their assigned mentor. First, it provides a richness of experience for the employee. And second, sometimes personalities don't click very well. It's just human nature. So if the mentoring relationship isn't working out between a couple of individuals, the leader or the mentor themselves may need to say, we need to find a different mentor for this person, and take the steps to provide one and make it a positive experience. You need to check in with the person on a regular basis. You may be in contact more frequently, but I think you'll know what is most appropriate based on the relationship you build with this new hire. There is no magic recipe for mentoring because it continues to grow and evolve as employees grow and evolve. Mentor and mentee share responsibility and move forward together if they believe in the whole system, they respect each other. The mentor will guide, coach, redirect, and teach, discourage complaints, and encourage solutions, criticize privately, and praise publicly. The mentee is open to challenges presented to him or her to help them grow. However, they also need to feel comfortable enough with the mentor to respectfully disagree. Forward thinking, ongoing discussion, continuous evaluation, and leaving a legacy. Succession planning requires us to always be forward thinking. There needs to be ongoing discussion and continuous evaluation of the program. Because you are leaving a legacy for others to follow, know that things will continue to evolve and change in the future. Be ready to serve your employees and work with potential future leaders to help make them successful. Robert Greenleaf said, "Good leaders must first become good servants." The responsibilities of leadership are to leave tracks, pave the way for those who follow, leave things better than you found them, make things easier for those who will follow, and share your lessons learned. Leaders are energetic people who inspire others by example. They empower others to make decisions, are available to talk things through, and are supportive and tough at the same time. Helping an individual through their struggles to achieve success, but also holding them accountable for achieving the goals they've said they wish to attain. Leaders foster collaboration through respect, encouragement, appreciation, and shared responsibility. Leaders can make a positive difference in someone's life. A leader takes people where they want to go. A great leader takes people where they don't necessarily want to go, but ought to. Rosalind Carter. Thank you for joining us today for Leadership. I hope you were able to learn something new or see things from a different perspective. Please leave your comments and join the community of Webinars by Rockwell. You'll find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. We love to have enriching dialogue about your job, your career, and your life. Watch upcoming announcements for our newest video releases. And again, thank you for spending your time with us. Bye for now.